Welcome, and here we are with another Film Speak.
I'm your host, Bill.
And I'm Lana.
We are here to bring our love of film to you, whether you want it or not.
We wanted to take a more serious tone for a minute as we talk about the recent losses to the world of entertainment. Plenty of artists, actors, and filmmakers have left us with voids with their passing, but we would like to mention three. First, Philip Seymour Hoffman, an actor of the highest caliber. In a career that spanned over 20 years, he brought to life some of the most memorable characters in really amazing films that will resonate for years to come.
I could fill this program just talking about the movies Hoffman was in and the impact that they've had on me. Next, we would like to give a fond farewell to Harold Ramis. A lot of what we think of as funny comes from that man and his collaborators. They are the films we quote, that we steal from, and that we emulate. I may not always mention him into my top list of influences, but the truth is, he affects everything that I do.
Last, let us say goodbye to Shirley Temple. As a child, her smile helped America through the Great Depression. And because no matter how bad the little matchstick girl had it, she still found good in life. This was her charm, her light. Thank you, Miss Temple, for your films and your endearing spirit.
When I was a kid, I actually thought Shirley Temple was a friend of mine.
You had a very lonely childhood.
Yes. Yes, I did. So let us watch a clip from the indie film Breathe, and we will see you at the table as we talk independent film with Linda Jordan and Rusty.
Finally, summer. Hi, I'm Jalen. It was the first day of summer vacation after a totally boring year at Green Springs High. I was hoping for a fun and exciting summer, but I never expected anything like this.
Someday, I'll have my own ship, and she'll be a real pearl.
Is that so, Jack? Well, you know, it's bad enough you knocked me up. And now you want your own ship so you can lure some other poor wench onto it and knock her up too? That's right, Jack. The baby is yours. You know, it's funny, but I feel as if I can trust you.
I give you my word. I'll return to the ship.
Hopefully with some souvenirs from your trip.
Trust is a double-edged sword. How do I know you won't clad me in iron once I come back aboard?
I give you my word. If you return from Atlantis with some treasures, you can have anything you want in return.
Your mate there would say you're making a deal with the devil.
You leave Mary to me. She knows the penalty for disobedience. Tell the men to drop anchor.
Did you hear the captain? Drop the anchor.
Hello, I'm Penny Sternman. The world of fashion modeling is exciting and glamorous, but as the models will tell you, it's a lot of hard work. You're about to see 3 beautiful models facing the most challenging assignment ever, posing fully clothed at the bottom of this pool. So sit back, watch as we present the making of fashion underwater.
This hotel's like one of my old lighthouses now, sticking out of the water. Oh, my lighthouse is gone. Beacons for wayward fish. I wonder if there's anyone left to satisfy my vampire thirst. Only one way to find out. She, oh, why? Oh, poor thing. Oh, I guess the desolation was too much for her. She looks so peaceful. But I do need blood, and since hers is no longer flowing...
All right. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You would... I'm sorry. I'll be leaving now.
I said, who are you and what are you going to do to me?
I'm a vampire. I wanted your blood.
And I'm Peter Pan. What were you doing here? How did you get here?
I swam. I'm a mermaid. Oh! I'm a vampire. I'm a mermaid. I'm a vampire mermaid. I'm Destiny. The vampire mermaid. Oh.
I'm Muriel Sullivan. Nice to meet you, Destiny, the vampire mermaid.
And you should be dead. Since when do mortals sleep underwater?
Well, I've been an aquatic ever since this power-hungry woman by the name of Susan Tackett operated on me nearly 20 years ago.
Nice waterbed you got there.
I find sleeping underwater very relaxing.
Yes, it is.
So, what turns you into a mermaid?
One word. Conjure. Well, it works better in water.
Oh, well, so what do you say? You and I go shopping?
Shopping? Where?
Anywhere we want.
Conjure!
Wow, fabulous. The elevator's out, so we're going to have to walk to the water and then swim out.
Okay, one more thing. A hospital around here, you know, I'm thirsty, a vampire thing.
I don't know. I think
And
all
the
the phone
phone
books, yeah, they've all floated away or dissolved.
Should I close it?
Why bother? We're the only ones here.
Tens and fives. Somebody forgot this bag and now it's mine.
That was Goldmine by the Gems. Greetings from the Retro Gal on Wax, yours truly, and my show is truly the last of its kind. I just had some soggy toast with Signal Jam, and I'm hungry for more, so let's hear the Skells with Moon Man.
That was fun. They had some great sales,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, better than any coupon I ever used. Do you mind if I go check out the other rooms for a dry phone book? I mean, you know, I need a drink.
Oh,
Hospital, blood bank, anything.
fine. You coming back?
Sure, I won't be long.
Cool.
I don't know where you're getting all this food. There isn't any in any of the rooms I've checked. But we're not gonna share.
So what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna feed you to the fish.
No, please don't. No, I can't swim. I'll drown.
It's kind of the idea. How does she do that?
This guy tied me up, pushed me out the window, and thought he killed me. Do you have any idea of what we should do to him?
I have a wonderful idea.
It began innocently enough. It could happen. Breathe. Coming soon from Arc Productions.
Welcome back to Film Speak. We're sitting here with our guests, Linda and Rusty. We're going to be talking about the challenges of local filmmaking and what they both got going on. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you
Glad
very
to
much.
be here.
So, Rusty, let's start with you.
Okay.
What are you currently working on now?
I am finishing up some additional footage for what was originally a 20-minute program that I shot in New Jersey called Hollywood Warriors with Deborah Dutch from LA, Debbie D from Philadelphia, Edward X. Young from New Jersey, and John Link from New Jersey, along with a few other minor characters. And after shooting the 20 minutes, my camera went off to LA for 2 years and it shot additional footage so that we now have over an hour and we can get a good distributorship out of the film. They just put up the editor is James Panetta in Philadelphia, excellent editor, saved my butt on a lot of things. I had scenes that I thought were way too dark and he pulled them out and they looked very good. So the opening scene showing scenes of Hollywood just went up. He just put it up on YouTube, so people can check that out. Just go under Hollywood Warriors on YouTube, and you can find a channel for us there, and then also on Facebook.
Oh, very nice. That means you spent 2 years basically getting the principal photography for the film.
Right. Yeah.
That's remarkable.
Yeah, it was a full weekend of doing lighting, sound, and camera in New Jersey. We had the facility of Deborah Dutch's mother's home, and we utilized every room for our shoot for that. And we had some nice, very good actors on the set, and it went very well. It was a lot of fun to do that, and I'm looking forward to seeing the completed film, which I've only seen a third of because it wasn't involved in a lot of the shooting. But I've seen a little bit of it, and what I shot, it's been a couple years now, but like, oh wow, I think I remember shooting it. so it was a lot of fun, and it's a challenge when you go somewhere and you've got a carload of gear and you're in charge of everything. It's to be a one-man crew, you start to appreciate why the credits on a movie go so long, because all those hands are really helpful to bring off a good production. And when you've got one person that has to set up lights, run over, grab the camera, grab the microphone, and a lot of times I had a setup. It was almost like a table tray where I had the microphone mounted beside the camera. And I just carried it around, so I almost had like a steady cam with the audio attached to it.
That's thinking outside the box. Sometimes you got to assess, adapt, and then overcome the situation.
Right, yeah.
You're just a one-man crew, Rusty. You're definitely a Superman filmmaker. Now, Linda,
Yes.
what have you been working on in the area?
Well, actually, 2 projects. A little film called Will to Live that you folks may have heard about. But I'm also working on a project, Last at Bat, with a new company called Scripted LLC. And I give a shout out to my good friend and mentor, actually, Mark Donahue, who, if he had not asked me to audition for Last at Bat, I would not have met Chris Rowley, who you folks know. I believe he's been a guest on your show, which I would not have met you, and worked on Will to Live, and then I'm here. So
3 degrees of separation.
exactly.
Would you like to talk a little bit more about the project and what they got involved?
Yeah, Last at Bat, or Scripted, actually is a company that is producing over the course of the next year 9 to 10 script reads at the Masonic Temple, downtown Dayton. The goal is to have these eventually become feature films. And it's a unique opportunity for actors to come in and audition, actually. The format is we are actually reading a script from hand. It's not a full production with lights and costumes and that type of thing. And we'll have a Hollywood director come in and actually direct us while we are performing. So everybody is tremendously excited about this, and we can't wait to get going again.
Very nice,
Yeah.
very nice. So I'm curious, Rusty, some of the projects that you've worked on, tell me about something that, that came up that was like a tough situation and how you kind of overcame it and made and turned the production around to maybe save it.
I'm trying to. We had an actor on, again, going back to Hollywood Warriors a couple years ago. Actor hadn't gotten a lot of sleep, hadn't had time to memorize lines, so you do the old cue card trick. And you put the, you right off the cue chart, right outside the screen, and you try to give a good reading to where it doesn't look like, I am very happy to meet you. So yeah, you've got to do that. I finished up, wrapped principal photography on Breathe last night, and in the small space that we had, I suddenly hear crash. One of the fluorescent lights fell over, fell right down on the concrete floor, right on the bowl of the reflector, broke, and they're still glowing underneath the bulb. I immediately shut it off. We unplugged it, changed it out, and so that was a little bit interesting.
Don't you hate it when something like that happens and then you don't film it? Because if something's going to crash like that, if you film it, it almost makes it worth it.
Yeah. But use it as stock footage.
Use it as stock footage, yeah. But if no camera captured it, then
Yep.
Now, you Linda, when approaching acting, do you consider yourself more of a classic actress, or do you take from more of the method school of acting?
I think probably more the method school of acting, yes. It's now I don't go into full character, shave my head and do that type of thing, but yes, I try to write a background story for the character if there is not too much revealed, to just get an idea more, how would they react, how would they feel. It can be difficult to memorize lines or remember lines if you don't have a reason to say the things that you would say to get across to the other characters.
You have to be connected to the
exactly,
character.
yes.
Action, reaction.
Yes, exactly. And as you both know, acting truly is reaction. Yeah. I believe it was Olivier, and I have always tried to remember this, but his question was, do you believe it? So one thing that I will do if I'm memorizing a script and there is a line that includes words that I would never say in that particular order, I will rewrite the line while I'm learning the script and learning the story into something that makes sense, that I would say, so I can get the intonation correctly. So it sounds realistic, it sounds believable, and then I can bring it in and make the author's line sound like my own.
I think there are very few actors, or very few directors who won't allow that, we won't allow somebody to change the line. Okay, well, I don't feel comfortable saying this. Can I say this? It's got the same meaning to it.
Or they
Yes.
just, or
Yes.
there's- It seems like in almost every film, there's one line that actors get hung up on. I know I
Yes.
have in the past when I was acting, that there was always one line of dialogue that would catch me somewhere, and you just couldn't get it out until you tweaked it a little.
Yes,
But you are right,
yes.
there are a lot of directors that won't allow that.
Well, you know, it's something I've written. It's open to interpretation. You know, if there's a key piece in the dialogue that I feel this must be in, you know, then I'll express that. But for the most part, you know, if you have an issue with the line or you're just trying to say it and it's not rolling off the tongue right, I would rather, when you're framed in a shot, it to be natural than seem forced.
Yes.
Because if it's
Yeah.
forced, you can see that.
And that's very generous of you, because the two projects that I have worked on here recently, the producer and the author has been the same person. And as Rusty was saying, sometimes writers will be so committed and so married to those words because that's what they heard in their head, that's what sounds good to them,
Right.
that if you allow the actor to let me understand what you're trying to say and express it in the words that I can get out believably, actors love people like you. So thank you.
It just translates better, because for me
It
it's
does.
you have to set your ego aside and focus on what's the bigger picture. You know, what is the best thing for a project.
And not everybody is able to do that.
Yeah.
So
And a lot of times what's written out on a page does not translate verbally.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Here's a question for both of you. We'll
Yeah.
start with Rusty.
Okay.
Who would you like to work with in the future?
M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh,
Yeah.
Very nice.
I can see that.
And whenever I go over to Philadelphia, I'm always kidding people. I said, "Are we allowed to shoot here? Because this is like his state."
Nice. Very nice.
But yeah, I really like his the style, and very laid back, and yeah, I've loved to work with him.
Very nice.
Johnny Depp
Okay.
and Tim Burton, just because the imagination,
Yeah.
I think anything would go.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they have, or particularly Tim Burton has, set in his mind what he wants. But certainly everything that he does is so off the wall that I would be hopeful that they would be open to interpretations
Yeah.
and so forth. So yeah, I would like to work with those two.
Very nice.
Yeah, Tim Burton, definitely one of my favorite directors, especially his earlier stuff.
Oh, yes.
You take
Yeah.
pre-97, 98. Those are my favorite films of his. I mean, I've liked the stuff that he's come out with since then, but when you look at Ed Wood, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Edward Scissorhands and stuff, those are my favorites.
Yes, yeah.
So please join us here in a moment. We're going to take a small break, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss the film Up, the Academy Award-winning nominated. Well, actually, I think it did win for Best Animated Picture, but it didn't win for Best Picture.
Although wasn't it the first one that was nominated? The first.
No, it was the first Pixar Disney movie. Actually, Beauty and the Beast was nominated Best Picture.
Oh, was it?
1991, I believe, 90.
I think I remember reading that too.
Yeah.
There was something about
But I
that,
think
yeah.
Up was the first one that was nominated for both Best Animated
And Best
Picture
Picture.
and
Okay.
Best Picture.
Okay.
Because I think at the time that Beauty and the Beast came out, that they didn't do Academy Awards for animation for feature length. They did animated shorts, but
Yes.
they didn't do feature length animation back
Okay.
then.
Well, we'll Google it.
We'll
There we
Google,
go.
we'll Google it and be right back to you. Thank you very much, and join us while we discuss the classic movie Up.
Anton Rook.
Phenomena.
Phenomena. Welcome back to Film Speak. We're here to break down the classic animated movie Up with our guests Rusty and Linda. So please join us as we talk about this just wonderful, beautiful film. What did you think about it, Lana?
Who doesn't want to live in that cute little cottage? Who doesn't want their house lifted way up into the air on a bunch of balloons? Now, when you were a kid, the first time you held a balloon, do you remember this?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I remember asking, am I going to go up into the air? So this kind of brought back that innocent child feel for me, because I love balloons anyway, you know, as a big girl. I like them just as much as I did when I was little. You give me a balloon when I go out to eat, I'll take the kid's balloon away from them. No, not really. But I love the movie. It's, like you said earlier, made you cry in the first 5 minutes.
First 5 minutes.
It's and who doesn't want a talking dog? I want a talking dog.
Yeah.
You know?
I love you, squirrel.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Oh.
It's a fun adventure from beginning to end, and I loved it.
Oh,
it's just
cute.
a great movie.
Squirrel.
Oh, look at that! Squirrel.
Yeah.
Well, how about you, Linda? How did you feel about Up?
I love Up. If people say Up, the two things that I remember straight off the bat is, can we keep him? No. But it's a talking dog.
yeah.
And squirrel. Because whoever did that knew dogs. Everything that happens with the dogs in the movie is just dead on.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious. I just love the movie. It's a story about loss and redemption and finding that life does go on, adventures do go on, new ones. If you're willing to open your mind and your heart to that. And it's funny that right now this particular film has a particular meaning to my life. Last December I got invited in to do something that I hadn't done for many, many years, and I had been saying no for several years. I finally said yes, and it's just opened up a whole bunch of new adventures for me. So yeah, what is not to love about Up? I love it.
You know, all the other things that
Hold on.
Okay.
Your mic is in your lap.
Oh, the mic fell.
Uh-oh.
We got it.
The mic?
Yeah,
Her
mic. Her mic fell. I think it was the squirrel's fault.
Probably.
I
Okay, more. Yeah, because I don't project. Okay. All right. Good.
All right, so we'll
catch up with.
Yeah. Should we start over or just pick up?
Or just pick up where?
Just pick up where we left off.
Ask her.
I'll ask.
You can have.
I'll go to Rusty.
Cutaways. Okay.
We're deliberating. Hold on.
Okay.
Deliberating.
But that was all good stuff. I didn't, trip or cough or pick my nose or anything. But I could.
What's that guy's name? Ratzenberger. That's right.
John
John Ratzenberger.
He was the
Who
guy at
played?
the beginning.
He's
All
yeah,
the way over?
we could start over.
Will be so much better this time.
Do you remember everything you said?
Sure.
Just to repeat it.
I'm a professional.
It's your professionalism that
That's
I
right.
respect.
That's right.
Welcome back to Film Speak. We're here to break down the classic animated feature Up with our guest Linda and Rusty. But first, let me ask you, what did you think of Up, Lana?
I loved it. It's a great adventure story. I love balloons. And I remember when I was a kid, the first time I held a balloon, I wondered if I was going to get lifted up into the air. So the cute little cottage and all the balloons and everything tied to it, and just the interaction between the little boy and the old man. And I cried within the first 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a great story, and I want a talking dog. That's what I walked away from that film with. I want a talking dog.
That touching beginning, and what a proper use of montage. You know, there's not many films, animated or otherwise, which really nails on the head what a montage is supposed to do.
Exactly.
And the emotional response that beginning draws out of you is just incredible. Now, what did you think about the movie, Linda?
I love Up. It's such a great story of loss and redemption and starting over, and the realization that once one chapter of your life is over, particularly if it's one that you have loved and enjoyed, if you're willing to let yourself go and experience something new, it'll be different, but it can be just as good. So, and the two things that I get out of Up when people talk about Up is first, squirrel, and can we keep him? No. But it's a talking dog, like Lana said. I mean, how great is that? Although I have 5, so I don't know that I really do want to be able to hear them talk. But yeah, you gotta love dogs.
I have to be with you. I love my dog, but I'm not sure if I'd really want her opinion.
I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Now, how about you, Rusty? What did you think of the movie?
Great movie. It's obviously the big theme is the spirit of adventure.
Yeah.
I mean, you see it on the house at the beginning, on the dirigible, and and it's a great. I see it as it's like a road picture.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah,
it's sort
it
of
is a road
in
picture.
the air, but it's a road picture.
Sure.
Yeah, and they they find that the loopy bird. But yeah, I see it, but I also see, it's like they say, once you learn television or film, you can't watch TV and movies again because you know how it's done. And so I'm watching it and I'm saying, wow, these guys were, it's interesting to see how far we've come from Willis O'Brien doing King Kong, and then later his mentor, or his protege, Ray Harryhausen.
Yeah.
And how they brought feelings to an inanimate object, and where you could relate to that, relate to the characters. And then you see this, and it's like there's segments with the dogs where you're looking at like, oh, it looks so real.
Yeah.
I mean, except for maybe the face or something like that, and certain times, but just the quality, the attention to detail, I just found amazing. And like Lana likes a lot of movement.
Yes.
You couldn't do that as a live action. You can go anywhere. That's what's nice about animation.
Mm-hmm.
You are in total control. Your actors don't have to take a break.
Yeah.
They're always going to be there for you. And you have total control over the story, over the background, everything. So it's
something I found out kind of amazing about the animation, and I didn't realize it when I watched it. All the good guys are all made off circles and square shapes. Their heads, their bodies, their arms, and all the bad guys are triangles. They're all made triangle shapes, so that there's like almost a visible difference between who's good and evil. Yeah, through the body structure.
Yeah,
interesting.
Which is quite remarkable.
Yes, you're absolutely right. It's funny because I rewatched this just recently, and Carl is square, very Spencer Tracy, and
Walter Matthau and Spencer Tracy were the influences they used for drawing him, which is that's remarkable.
And Russell's got this little round nose, and he's just a little mailman. But that was one thing as I watched it again. I thought, how are these dogs who have grown up their entire lives, paradise, how do they know what a mailman looks like? It was funny, and I laughed out loud so many times at this film.
You know, the dog Doug was made to be an homage to Pluto. If you think about how he points, that straight line, just like Pluto in the old Mickey Mouse cartoons. And a lot of his reactions were modeled after Pluto. And it was all done as kind of like a little Disney tip of the hat to classic animation.
And you insiders will know that stuff.
Well, I love Easter eggs and little hidden tidbits. And Pixar is famous for that. Like, okay, the tree in the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. You know, when Ellie and Carl go to have their picnic, it's the tree from Bug's Life. They're having their picnic under the tree from Bug's Life. And the grape soda badge.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. I just hit my mic.
That's okay.
Sorry. But the grape soda badge that they have is the grape soda badge from the Buzz Lightyear commercial in Toy Story, the first Toy Story.
You're right. Yes.
You know, and John John Ratzenberger. John Ratzenberger. His voice, he's their good luck charm. He does a voice in every Pixar film.
Is that why? Because I noticed he's at the beginning of the film. He doesn't have a large role in this
Doesn't have a large role,
but he's in there. Yeah.
Every movie, every one of them, he has at least one little small role.
Yeah.
Great voice.
Yeah, just an excellent movie. And plus, I know we talked about this earlier before the cameras were rolling. That Up was the first movie to be nominated for both a Best Picture award and a Best Feature Animation award. And Beauty and the Beast holds the distinction of being the first animated feature nominated for Best Picture, but Up has both. It won Best Animated Feature and then got nominated for Best Picture. And
I wondered if it didn't win Best Picture because it did get Best Nominated. Because it certainly, I would not have been disappointed had it won for Best Picture.
That was the one I was hoping. You got to root for the underdog.
You do.
You know?
You do.
And the fact
the talking underdog.
The talking underdog.
Exactly right. Yeah.
That's exactly it. But yeah, I was seriously rooting for that. You know, I want the little guy. I believe that was the year that, ironically, I think Catherine Bigelow won. Was that the Hurt Locker year?
It
might have been the year afterwards.
I'm not sure.
I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Please don't sue, and I don't want hate mail.
Google it.
Google it, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, any closing thoughts on Up, Lana?
Overall, just a fantastic film. What a great adventure.
And-
I want to
and-
go.
and-
I want to go.
I want to go.
The one scene that brings out the, just go for it. You may fail, but you'll pick yourself up when he goes out on that board and she's scooting him. Come on, go on. Okay, boom. Like, oh well, I tried. You know.
Yeah, that's the way.
Yep.
How about for you?
Go on an adventure, enjoy what you're doing, and cross your heart.
Cross your heart. How beautiful.
I love it.
That's a perfect sentiment to end on.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, and please join Lana and I as we say our goodbyes here in just a minute, and we hope you enjoyed our wonderful, wonderful guests, Linda and Rusty.
All right. What a great episode. I hope Linda and Rusty had a good time.
Join us next week when we will play Twister in a small tub of tapioca pudding.
No. You are really disturbing sometimes.
Oh, here's looking at you, kid.
We will always have Paris.
I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
You played it for her. You can play it for me.
Bye, everybody.